Hello, and welcome to Go Fund This, a podcast from Nerds Domain. In these episodes, we'll be talking to crowdfund project managers about their projects and what excites them. Come listen as we talk about the passion they have for their project. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Go Fund This. This week, I'm talking to John Barron and Dan Coleman from Late Night Games. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
And as always, I'm your host, Matt. So, John and Dan, we like to start off every podcast, every recording that we do for Go Fund This with two very, very important questions, and I want you to brace yourself because if you answer these incorrectly, it will ruin all of your credibility for the rest of the podcast, okay?
Okay.
So, question one. In the impending zombie apocalypse, what is your weapon of choice?
We have a rule. John, do you want to tell them rule one?
Never light a zombie on fire?
Because then you just have then you just have flaming zombies. So anyone that says flamethrower or anything like that, you are not aptly prepared. You are just going to make things worse. My weapon of choice would be either a baseball bat or some type of melee weapon because, as we've seen, bullets run out and cause problems. But that is only said in the same breath of that I am standing behind the people that choose to have shotguns, rifles, anything ranged.
Fair enough.
How about you, John?
I like a good fire axe.
A good fire axe?
Yeah.
So that if they're on fire, you can use it to cut them down?
Can we count vehicles as weapons? Or are the keys still in it? Because that's an important part.
That's not always a bad option.
Yeah.
All right. Given all of the sci-fi you know, what planet do you most want to visit?
I have ever since I was in 4th grade, I've been in love with the planet Mars. Just because that is my, I did a report on Mars in 4th grade and have just been obsessed with it. Like, when people, talk about stuff, I'm like, oh yeah? Well, Mars is the biggest known mountain in the universe. And,
So are we talking, Red Planet Mars, or are we talking, Edgar Rice Burroughs' Princess of Mars?
No, it's just plain Jane Mars. I mean, I guess it's more science than science fiction, but that's the honest to God truth. If we're talking about science fiction, I mean, there's this planet. I could go on forever on this. John, what's your favorite planet?
I like Naboo.
Boo? So you can go kill some Gungans?
I think I could become their leader.
I don't think it would take much. You have to slobber a lot and flap your lips. I'm pretty sure that's a trick.
Yeah. Does anybody say Endor, and then you have to say, do you mean the forest moon of Endor? And then
no one has said that yet.
Okay.
I've gotten a lot of rises.
Ooh.
I can't say I against that idea.
See, I'm more of a fantasy man, so when you say which planet, I still default to, real planets.
Bryce is a real planet,
yeah.
hopefully. All right, so let's get into your project. And we'll start off with your sales pitch. What is Maji Monsters, and why do you have such a passion for it?
Okay, so Maji Monsters takes everything that's great about role-playing games, Dungeons & Dragons, those kinds of games, and throws it in with the monster-catching genre. So if you were the kid that grew up with Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, whatever your monster catcher was, that's what is filling this gap that's missing in role-playing games. And we know people want it. Because if you do a search for Pokemon Tabletop Adventures or Tabletop United are huge out there right now, but they're clunky. They're a skin of an existing system, and it doesn't really fit the genre. And the only reason we're as excited about it as we are is because we know it works. We've been playing with it for the past 2-3 years now, and we wouldn't have come to this point if we didn't think we had something that people would want to play, that we would be so impassioned about. And ever since we launched about 2 weeks ago, we've had people come out of the woodworks talking to us about their characters that they want to make, about monsters that they want to design, and how this is something that they've been waiting for. So, we hit a point where we started this, and it became more than just a pitch to make a game. It became meeting people, a community.
Okay. And you guys have a love of monster catching, I take it?
Of course.
Should we tell them about the first day of Pokemon? Is that too much?
Yeah, we have an annual event where whenever a new Pokemon game comes out, we all get together and open the game at the same time and start playing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The last time it came out, we had to wait till the end of the day because we all live within like 60 miles of each other. So we all were working and we all came together, but the one guy was late and then he made us all go out for dinner. And he's waiting to get a sandwich. And they ask him, like, would you like your sandwich toasted? He's like, sure, it'll only take 5 minutes. And we have one guy in our group named Stu, who was literally just sitting there boiling his blood waiting to play this game that it's like 9 o'clock at night that he's been waiting to play. But, yeah, we've been doing that ever since, what, Gen 4? What was Diamond?
Yeah, it was Pearl and Diamond.
Yeah, so we're big, huge Pokemon fans.
Right on. So one day I'll tell you about how in 4th edition I made a wizard that was a Pokemon master.
Ooh.
And everyone made fun of me until it all worked.
Was he named Ash, or was he his own thing?
No, he was something ridiculous. I didn't name him anything like that. That would have been...
4th edition is not very accommodating for that.
Well, 1, you use your imagination a little bit,
okay.
And then 2, you use the online character builder to find all the things that are available out there.
Yeah.
And that pretty much is what did it for me.
Gotcha.
So, but let's go on and tell us about your company a little bit. You are Last Night Games, and that's not night like nighttime, but night like guys in armor.
Yeah. Well, it's late night games, so it's yeah.
Sorry, yes, you're right. Late night.
Yes, it's I mean I think we had a guild called the Late Nights in World of Warcraft back in the day. And when we were thinking up names for the company, we had something. What was our initial name, John?
We had all kinds. I think at one point we were 3-letter games.
Yeah. We ran through a bunch of names, and Late Nights was the only thing that stuck. We liked the puns, but I mean, we came together. We were official in April of last year, and so we're almost up on our year anniversary. But we've been working together. I mean, we do a lot of our networking through over the computer. We have weekly meetings. Recently, it's been twice weekly, and we do meetings in person once a month at least to go over planning, design, stuff like that. And then, before that, it was just getting together to actually play our game.
Okay. And so you said you've been playing this 2 or 3 years. You've been through several rules iterations, and you've gotten that down pretty good? Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that we're adamant about, though, is we want to be as community guided with this project as we can be. I mean, we don't have the resources that a Wizards of the Coast or someone does, but we know that the game works with our way of playing it, and we've brought people in to play it, and we've taught other people how to run it. But with Kickstarter, if we get enough people, what we can do is we can actually have a legit beta, get great feedback from our players. We've gotten great feedback already through our play testing, and that gives us a bigger opportunity to change it and make the game the best it can be. So I mean, we know we have a system that at its core works, but we are willing to work with it.
Right on. So it looks like you guys are a little over halfway funded. You've got 18 days left. How are you feeling about that? Do you feel like you hit the main goal?
It depends who you ask in the company.
Fair enough.
I'm feeling fairly confident that we will make the goal. Probably not go much over. Dan is having late nights and developing altars and.
Well, we knew going into it that the Kickstarter trend is to have what they call a saddle or bathtub effect, where we'll get a large amount of funding in the beginning, and then it will bottom out and plateau towards the middle, and then it will rise back towards the end. So we're going through that. It's just it's not comfortable for me because I want to be straight line through the margin or through the goal line, but. I'm confident, and we're doing a lot of stuff. We're going to conventions and stuff like that. So I think if you ask 80% of the group, they're happy. But John's right. I worry about it every day.
I know how that feels. When we ran our Kickstarter, we funded, and I still felt like we weren't going to fund.
Yeah.
So it looks like your initial goal is $12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Your first stretch goal is at $14,500.
Right.
And that's going to be a hardcore book. And then it says 10 more Maji Monsters. How many Maji Monsters are in the base game?
Well, we have 100 ready, and we are going to get some community ones. At least 7, I think we're up to, from what people have donated and what we are going to take on. because that goes back to the community guided thing because we want to involve people in the game as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So we will have to edit some out for the size of the book because we will have a page limit based upon our final budget. But one of the things we've already taken the steps to do is to have any extra ones that we have go into online content that we can release for anyone that gets it. Excuse me.
Okay.
So yeah, and the hardcover is, it's a nice goal, but the extra monsters, they're the meat of the game.
Okay. Right on. So with this funding, and we're gonna hope that you fund, and I really think you will. I love the concept of it. What kind of projects can we look from you guys in the future? Are we going to see any expansions? It looks like you guys have some beginnings of some adventure campaigns in that in both your stretch goals and your add-ons, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So can we expect to see some expansions and some more stuff like that?
Well, when we got together and talked about it, one of the things we talked about was like a book of just monsters, and I think that's something that's still definitely on the table. We decided to go with an adventure path first because, one, it's something that translates better into a pure digital version, and two, it gives new players a chance to accommodate to the system and actually have an adventure to play. It's not like Dungeons and Dragons where you can get a new book and be like, all right, I know how to run D&D. I don't need an adventure path to teach me. But this is that's how we settled. But we've talked about a lot of different things that we could do with it in just Maji Monsters.
Right on. So it looks like your base game or your base book for a digital level is $25.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first printed was it 50?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm looking, but I was all the way at the bottom.
It's 50. Yeah. We came to those goals based upon what other projects of the same size and scope were rated at, and and one of the things, because when we were talking to people, one of the things we realized is it's basically incorporating a bestiary, rule set, campaign setting, and a DM section all in one book. So we think there's a lot of value in that, and the when you get any copy of the hardcover book, you'll also get an additional copy of the PDF that you can use or give to someone, and then all the online content.
Okay, and so it looks like that $25 just gets you the book, but then anything else you can add on. So there's the ability to name your own or to make your own Magi, and then a couple other add-ons, one for an adventure path and one for, they're all the way at the bottom. There they are. Okay. And then what's a bronze level recognition? Tell me about that.
Well, we are going to put any contributor at a certain level into the book just listed. So anyone that gets a copy of it will see bronze, silver, and gold level recognition. So it's basically you're going to have more recognition based upon the level. So bronze level recognition will be the majority of contributors on the contributors page, and then we'll give special shout outs to anyone at silver level and gold level just for the amount of their contribution, and it'll be a little bit more personalized. It'll be a little bit bigger type, and then again it kind of cycles back to that whole community forwarded project.
Right on. And then your levels, they go up a little bit here and there. You've got your $50 level for the physical copy. You've got $150, and you get additional physical copies. Mm-hmm. But then you have this $1,000 level where you're a hometown hero. I like this. So this is for someone that lives in the Mid-Atlantic region.
Yeah.
You will come and run an epic one-time Magi Monster adventure. For whoever backs it and 4 of their friends, and everybody gets books, and there's all kinds of stuff there. You've already got one person backed at that level, is that right?
Yeah, we do. We when we were talking about stuff that we would do for stretch goals, we talked about this, and we weren't really sure like whether we should even throw that out there, just because we're like, is this something we could even do? And to be honest with you, I don't think any of us ever expected to sell one. So the fact that we did is going to be fun. Yeah.
Right on. So you got a solid project here. I do this every time, and it's not because I don't like the project. It's because I love these projects. You just got a new backer. I'm going to back and be happy to do so.
Oh, thank you.
So we always love these kinds of Sorry, I have to think my password and talk at the same time. It's very bad. Oh, and it wasn't even correct password. Good deal. So you'll have another backer eventually. I love seeing role playing games. I love Pokemon. I'm not nearly as into it as clearly people who open it together and play together. But my son is into Pokemon, so this will be great for him too.
Oh yeah.
But I'm really excited about this. This game looks awesome, and I'm sure I can just take whatever Magi monster in there, reskin them with a name maybe and a little bit of tweaking, and probably just Pokemon, which sounds fantastic to me.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
So where can we see you guys though? So you're going to be doing, I assume, some beta testing and some demoing at conventions. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, John's our big convention guy. Why don't you go ahead and answer that, John?
Yeah, I love going to conventions. So coming up this weekend, we have Unpub. This is Unpub 5, I think.
Yep.
It's Baltimore, the convention center. It's actually free for anybody that wants to go, and it's for unpublished games. And the developers go and hopefully get people to play their game and get some feedback. So that'll be this Saturday, the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
The following weekend is KatsuCon, which is an anime convention at the National Harbor. It's in Maryland, but it's close by DC.
Okay.
And it's a anime convention, but they're also going to be having a tabletop room, and they're going to give us a table. So we'll be there demoing there all day Saturday. That'll be Valentine's Day, the 14th. And then our next scheduled one is not until August, which is Gen Con. I'll be there, and at least one other person will be there with me demoing games. And we'll be there all 4 days of the convention, Thursday through Sunday, running campaigns for anybody that's interested.
Right on, yeah.
In between there, we might have another one. We'll have to see how we get set up. Oh, and there's one more thing. In Pennsylvania on the 21st, we are going to a comic store called
Planet X.
Planet X, and we are going to be there on the Saturday, the 21st.
Right on. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you guys at Gen Con. We go every year since it's right here in our hometown.
Oh, great.
Makes it a lot easier. But yeah, that's great. Definitely. I will make one of my many workers go and play Pokemon, and I don't think anyone will complain. So, well, that's great. So, to keep up with you guys, everybody can find you on Facebook at facebook.com/Maji Monsters. It's MAJIMONSTRES.
Yes.
Yeah. ERS. How about that? Monsters. You're also on Twitter at Maji Monsters.
Yep.
And then MajiMonsters.com.
Yep.
And if you guys want a quick link straight to the Kickstarter page, it's tinyurl.com/MagiKick. So you can, I just created that one so you guys can get straight over there and get that information. Anything you guys want to point out or touch base on? Anything I might have skimmed over or missed? Anything important?
We really appreciate the opportunity of having us on here. I'd say the one big thing is when you were talking about making, reskinning a monster or anything like that, one of the things we agreed early on was that there would be like conceptual ways of making your own monsters for people that run the game. And whether we included it in the book or not, it was going to be something that game masters would want to do anyway. So when you talk about making something like that, that's something that we are fully behind, and that's going to be in there. So anyone that's looking at this, and if you go on DeviantArt and you look at people making fake Pokemon or anything like that, this is going to be a great game for them, because then they can usually actually use their drawings and put their stuff to life. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So we're going to have a whole section of the book about making your own monsters. We're also going to have a whole campaign world painted out in the book that you can use, or you can use your own, obviously. We went with a little bit darker tone than Pokemon. Like, this is more like a post-apocalyptic fantasy world where like monsters are just running rampant, and only recently did people figure out how to capture them. And so they're using the monsters to fight back against other monsters, because at this point, human weapons don't do a lot to the monsters.
Yeah.
I like to pretend that's how Pokemon is anyway.
Yeah.
I live in that world where these terrible people send little children out to play with these Pokemon.
Yeah.
No
supervision. Just, get out there and beat kids up and take their money.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you guys for being on. As always, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. You can head over to the website and sign up for the newsletter. You can go to patreon.com/nerdsdomain and support us there. And you can buy our shirts at /loot.com. And we want to thank Jarby McCoy for the music that we use in this podcast. And we will talk to you guys real soon.
This has been a production of the Omega Nerds Network, the network where it's on.